Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amy Kaneko, Director of Singapore Office of the Japan Science and Technology Agency, or JST. It is the first time our Singapore office organized a webinar as part of Science Agora, which is an annual open forum with a wide range of events and aim to bring together science and society. As part of the lineup of events, we and our great friend from Singapore, Asia Pacific Assistive Robotics Association, or Agora, thought it's very exciting to organize this webinar centered around that theme, the impact of technology on learning, as the second edition of our joint webinar. It is my understanding that Japan is still a very traditional or conservative country in a way that learning still pretty much means taking lectures in the classroom. However, after the occurrence of the COVID-19 pandemic and emergence of new technologies such as generative AI, we are now coming to be aware that learning can take many different forms. With the help of emerging technologies, learning can be very flexible, and it can also be very personalized, catering to the needs of each and every one of us. So let's make this webinar a learning opportunity for us and hear from excellent speakers about what are the technologies and what are the impacts that we are talking about now. Our first speaker is Mr. Oliver Tien from Singapore, who is a close friend of mine for quite a long time now. And it's amazing that he's engaged in such a diverse set of activities, which is beyond our imagination. But a couple of his many titles are the Honorary Advisor Mentor to Agora, and the founder and director of Oliver Tien Associates. I'm sure that as the first speaker, he will set the tone of our discussion for this webinar. Our second speaker is Mr. Michael Chiang from Malaysia, who is the chair of an edtech called BIDU. And I understand that he also advises schools with international baccalaureate stream in terms of their curriculum and pedagogical training for teachers. I believe his talk will include important points as ethical aspect of new technologies, whether edtech providers are responsible enough to make their services available and accessible for the disadvantaged or differently abled children. Our third speaker is Ms. Elsa White from Ireland. She's a corporate learning researcher at Learnovate. With her 15-year experience in the corporate world, which is both very fast-paced and international, I believe she can bring into our discussion the corporate perspective, not only the pros, but also the cons of technology in learning and education. Last but not least, the moderator for the panel discussion is Ms. El Kwan, Vice President of Agora. This webinar first proceeds with 3 presentations from the speakers, followed by a panel discussion moderated by Ms. El. In the panel discussion, we'd like to include questions which the audience already conveyed to us at the time of pre-registration, but we also welcome new questions from the audience. So please don't hesitate to write your comments in the chat box either in English or Japanese. Ms. L can pick up comments in English by herself, and if the comments are in Japanese, I'll try to translate them to her to the best I can. We want this webinar to be interactive between the speakers and the audience, so please help us to do so by your kind and active participation. Additionally, I noticed the significant presence of colleagues from the Philippines and Indonesia in the audience, so let me strongly encourage you to present